Welcome to What in the Shibal. I just want a theme song, goddammit. But welcome to What in the Shibal with Susie and Ed.
We're just two Asian Americans talking shit about shit. I was not expecting a jingle.
But really, for weeks, I've been trying to get a jingle for us without, like doing it ourselves. And yeah, you would think it would be easy because all I want is an old school radio style, 3-second jingle.
What in the Shibal?
Yeah, when they're Star 106.2.
Yeah.
One of those when it's what in the Shibal?
I thought you were going older, ba ba da ba ba ba, that kind of thing.
Somewhere in the mix.
Yeah. Kind of thing.
Kind of with a little bit of harmonizing on the Shibal part, It's someone says what in the, and then three people are Shibal. Yeah. You know what? We're just going to have to record it one of these times.
I'm sure there's people out there that could do it. I mean, it's not us.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Unless you want there to be some sort of out of tune cello in the background while we sing.
Oh,
we might need help.
My younger sister played trumpet for 2 years in junior high. I think she could dust it off.
I can do trumpet. Just kidding. Yeah. Oh my God. I think we just found a new thing. Yeah.
We're so talented. What happened? What's happening? Okay. Hi, Ed. Sweating.
I am sweating too. Oh, laughing too much.
Hi, Ed. How was your week?
It was good.
Great.
It was good. How was yours?
Oh, good. My cheeks hurt. It was my daughter's birthday.
Oh.
So we had her family party this weekend because then she's going to have her friend's party next week.
School party.
We had just dinner with my parents and my family and my sister's family. It was very, very cute.
At a restaurant, at a house. Who cooked?
We went out to a restaurant called Sunday Gravy in Inglewood.
Italian.
Yes. Oh my God. It's so good. If you're ever out in Inglewood and you want Italian, it's delicious. It's so, so good. It's the only thing my daughter wanted. She didn't want to go anywhere else. She didn't want to eat anything else. She didn't want to do anything else. That's exactly where we went. And then we had Father's Day the next day. And my husband, I was like, where do you want to go to brunch?
Sunday Gravy.
No, thank God.
That would have been hilarious.
I was like, what do you want for brunch? I can cook at home. We can go out, anything you want. He goes, you know what I really want to do? And I was like, what? He's like, I want to go to Chili's. I was like, Chili's?
Ew.
That's what I said.
Ew.
I'd never been to Chili's.
Where did Rory grow up? In Utah?
No, in DC.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
But I asked him, I was like, when was the last time you had Chili's? He's like, at least 25 years ago. And I was like, why do you want to go there now? He's like, I think I saw a video on TikTok and it just entered my subconscious and now I can't stop thinking about it.
Goddamn Baby Back Ribs song got in his head.
That's the first thing he started singing the second we walked in.
Yeah, I told you.
And he ordered them.
Were they good?
No. Of course not. I didn't have any expectation that they would be. I had I don't know. I'm not going to talk about
that.
The
Is
food.
all I
Everything
will
was
eat
fried.
at Chili's.
Everything. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It could have been
never
much worse.
It's good. Just so bland.
No, it wasn't at all.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know if they stepped it up because it was Father's Day. I don't know, but it was not that bad. I mean, I had the fajitas. I did not like them.
I thought that was going in a different direction.
But they had those chicken fingers and they had fried Mexican style egg rolls and sliders and stuff like stuff that you get at a bar. And I was like,
those
okay,
are all the
things
passable. That if you fuck those up.
Right. But if that's what you're going for, that's what you want,
yes.
then you're going to be happy with what you get. Also, I got a margarita that was at least this big.
Yeah, well, that's what people really go to Chili's and Applebee's.
I had no idea because I'd never been.
Yeah, happy hour specials.
I had no idea. I was like, does this thing come with a fucking diving board? It's humongous. I was like, oh my God, I had to take a 2-hour nap. Father's Day. I was like, that was fun. Good night.
Sugar crash.
Done. I was drunk and I was, crashing on sugar. I was like, this is so gnarly. I was like, what is happening? My daughter's like, you look sleepy. I was like, oh my God. And so basically I just ate all weekend. I was like, I don't want to eat for a while. This is all I did. And I was like, I feel gross and lethargic and greasy and
no offense, but that stuff is just wasted calories.
Oh, dude, tell me.
And money.
Absolutely. Okay, no. But the thing about the money though, it was so inexpensive at Chili's. I couldn't believe it. We paid $67.
Oh my God. You know how many delicious donuts I could buy with $67?
I know, but for a family of four to go out to eat for $67, I was like, what?
I think that's on par with what McDonald's is now.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe.
For a family of four, probably. I hear it's $10 to $15 per person. That's $60.
I couldn't believe it. I laughed. I was like, oh my God, I got away with getting you Father's Day brunch.
That included your margarita?
Yes, that's what I said. I was like, did they put everything on the bill? He's like, everything was on the bill. I was like,
because that margarita alone was probably like 12 bucks. Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying. So, for the money that you spend, for the food that you expect, it was fine.
Chili's, if you're watching this, it should be your new slogan. Chili's, the new McDonald's.
Chili's, it's pretty okay.
It's delicious for how cheap it is.
I couldn't stop saying welcome to Chili's. Welcome to Chili's. Everywhere I went, welcome to Chili's.
I want my baby back.
Chili's. See?
Yes.
Everything's a jingle. You're right. Jingles are important.
Jingles are very important. Look, I mean, that was like, 5 years ago that jingle was.
They've been around since 1975.
Because you know what I remember about Chili's is that time that NSYNC did the baby back song.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And NSYNC was like 25, 30 years ago. Like, that's crazy.
I love them. But yeah, that was my weekend. It was just filled with eating and more eating. So it was great.
I used to work with this girl. She lived in Iowa. And, being a foodie, I just like talk about food all the time. And she was like, she told me this one time, she was like, the whole town got excited when an Applebee's came in. I was like, I was like, Applebee's? I was like, oh my God, that's so gross. And she's like, yeah, we just have like nothing. So like Applebee's was like the it thing. And I've never felt sadder for a person.
Well, I think because we live in LA, like we're probably very spoiled, or like, there are places that don't have ethnic foods or foods beyond, those kinds of things. So that's like their exposure to.
Yeah, but like even when I used to live in Philly, it wasn't that filled with as much ethnic foods, but like, boy, did Philly know
how to eat
food.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, they weren't the fattest city in America for a really long time for no reason. You know what I mean?
Are they the fattest city?
I don't think they are anymore, but when I was like in high school, middle school, it used to be. It was like top 2 for a really long time. And it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like
right.
TikTok is just discovering what pizza fries are now.
What is pizza fries? I mean, I can imagine fries that have pizza toppings on them.
Yeah, but that's literally it. It's just sauce, mozzarella cheese. Sometimes it has other toppings like pepperonis and stuff. But like when I was a kid, and one of the times like...
You've had this since you were a kid?
Yes.
I never heard of it.
So like in Philadelphia, like all those times my mom would leave me home alone, like for a month at a time to go to Korea.
So crazy.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to do was this local pizza shop by me. Every Monday used to have $5 large pizzas. Mm-hmm. So like I would order.
That's a good deal.
It was such a good deal that every Monday while my mom was gone, I would order like 2 pizzas because it's $10.
Yeah.
And then I would order 2 pizza fries on top of it. So I would literally eat pizza fries and pizza at the same time. And that is why Philadelphia was such a fat city.
Wow.
Philadelphia loves pizza toppings on stuff. We put
cheese whiz and stuff, right?
Cheese. I was going to say government cheese because historical facts, if you know about the cheese in the caves.
Yeah. The what?
Cheese in the caves.
Is that a euphemism or is it like literal cheese in caves?
Literally, the U.S. government has cheese in caves.
Why? Like
because back in the day, back in like the early 1900s or whatever it was, dairy was subsidized to help the dairy farmers.
Okay.
And they produced so much dairy, they didn't know what to do with it. So it turned into cheese. Now they were sitting on all this cheese that they didn't know what to do with. So they put them in the caverns because it's like cold, damp, and it would hold. And then they just were never able to get rid of this cheese, which is why government cheese became a thing because they started offloading all of this cheese.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is it all gone now?
From the myth, no.
Really?
Yeah, apparently there was so much surplus of cheese that even to this day.
No, we have to find out. We're going to have to fact check this. We'll get back to you because I need to know. Where is this cavern? I must go there.
But either way, back in Philadelphia, we used to put cheese like that. Cheese with stuff on everything.
Are you lactose intolerant? Like really bad?
This might be the reason why.
Oh my God. You built it.
When you're in your teens and stuff, you're not lactose.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like when I was in high school, we used to have this, oh my God, Philadelphia, the East Coast has diners.
Yeah.
Which I wish LA had.
Yeah.
We have what was that? The Hungry Pancake or whatever downtown. That's the only 24-hour diner that I know of in LA. But in Philadelphia, there's 24-hour diners everywhere and they're delicious. And have you ever seen Silver Lining Playbook?
No, I don't see movies.
The one with Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper. You know what I'm talking about though, right?
I've heard of it.
I think it's the movie that like helped
catapult both of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they shot this diner scene at the diner me and my friends used to go to in high school.
Oh, that's
so like,
cute.
Yeah, I don't really care about that as much. But when we were in high school, we used to go to the diner and we'd go there at like midnight on like school days, because my mom couldn't control me. And I would literally eat disco fries is what they were called.
Oh, I've heard of disco fries.
Yeah, so disco fries.
Like poutine, right?
It is
without
poutine.
Without the cheese curds.
Without the cheese curds, but in Philadelphia, they would just substitute it with Cheese Whiz.
Oh,
so it was gravy and Cheese Whiz.
God, this conversation alone is going to make me constipated for a week.
It sounds so gross, but it is so good. It is so good.
So fries, gravy, and Cheese Whiz?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fucking delicious.
It sounds gross and delicious at the same time. The gravy just adds this umami-ness to the cheese. Oh my God.
Regional fry combinations. That should be an episode. Oh man, that's going to be a good one.
Oh my God, fry toppings. There's a place in downtown that literally just does that.
They do?
Yeah, there's a place downtown. I forget what it's called. I saw it one late night at like 1:00 in the morning going through Yelp because I was hungry.
Is that what you do?
And I was like, no, because I hadn't eaten yet. So I was like, I'm going to order something. So I'm like scrolling through and I found this one place. It was like, all they do is just toppings on fries. There's like fajita fries. There's like bulgogi fries.
I want to go
there's
there.
Like,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I think that's fun. That sounds amazing.
But yeah, so chili is fun.
I mean, the man doesn't ask for a lot.
Yeah,
he still didn't.
Yeah,
he's a very simple guy.
Yeah,
he doesn't want a lot of stuff, and he's just like, I just feel like I just want to go there. And he was actually really happy. And I was like, kids are happy. Had a margarita the size of my head. Everything's fine. It was fine.
Family fun.
Key. And then my then I forgot. Then my parents came over to my sister's house, and we did Father's Day for my dad, and we ate tacos that same day. I was like,
that someone made?
No,
Catered.
we got it from Benny's or something. I was like, I'm so full.
Oh, that's a lot of meat.
And there's so much left over everything. And I'm like, ugh.
You should have brought them here.
I know I should have.
We could have eaten them on camera. But no, it's funny because you guys also went to Sunday Gravy.
Yes.
Which is also an East Coast terminology.
Yes. So I was telling my sister, I was like, we're going to go to Sunday Gravy, for my daughter's birthday. And she's like, what is it? Like meatloaf
people probably
and
think
stuff?
like meatloaf.
And I was like,
yeah.
no, it's
like
a ton.
meats.
And she's like, why? I'm like, I think that people on the East Coast, they make their Sunday gravy. Like their nonas, their Italian grandmas call it their gravy. They don't call it tomato sauce.
We don't call it tomato sauce, especially in Philadelphia. Because like Philadelphia is like the ethnic food in Philadelphia is like Italian
Very
food.
Italian. Yeah.
And like Jewish food and stuff like that.
Like Geno's cheesesteaks and stuff, right?
Yep,
That's like a big
Italian, a lot of Greek food, a lot of Jewish food. And we call it gravy. It's tomato sauce. Like just gravy. But for me, Father's Day is a little awkward. I bet. Because this Father's Day, many times on Father's Days, I like to give shout outs to single mothers.
Of course.
But I also, like we talked about last episode, have this weird thing with coming off fake. And because like my mom and I aren't in we're getting there, but like we're not in a very calm waters peace place. So I just like felt like it was a little fake. And then at around like 5 p.m. I was like, no, I should post something. So I storied it.
Yeah, I saw that.
But other than that, it was just Father's Day is like weird. It's always been like a weird day for me.
Do you have like a ritual that you do, or do you just kind of ignore it and just do other things and distract yourself?
Yeah, I just ignore it. I try not to be on social media that much, which wasn't that hard because I haven't been on social media like all month. Yeah.
It's crazy.
For real though. I'm coming back. I did make a video last week.
For real though, I'm coming back. This is the fourth time, this fourth week I've heard that, but that's okay. I'm not pressuring you. You do whatever you feels right for you.
I'm going to come back. There's a lot happening.
Yeah, no.
But, other than that, it's not also just that. I've also been really busy. I know I've been talking about it, but like one of the videos that I finally got finished editing and then uploaded was the NWA Mural video.
That video was so great. I was like, before, I didn't even like register like you did it, but I was watching, I was like, this is a great video. It was shot so well. It was edited so beautifully. You did a really good job.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
I was really impressed.
Yeah, it took a long time. Well, first off, it took like almost 2 weeks to film.
Yeah.
And then like the thing about those mural videos is that like the time lapses are all photos.
For sure.
They're like thousands of
they're all photos?
Yeah, they're photos. So like my camera
God.
takes a photo like every whatever time limit I set in. I think for that one, it was like every 8 seconds.
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought it was just like a
like
fast forwarded video.
50 hours. So there was like dozens of photos.
When you watch something like that, you don't really, it's like all goes so quickly and it's such fast motion. You don't really think about it. Like how many hours that actually is condensed down into. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. And you do a lot of time lapses like that in photos because with video, it's harder to, with photos, you can literally edit each frame.
Yeah.
So like when the sun sets and stuff, like the temperature changes, it goes from like warm to cool colors. So like those things, it helps to shoot it in photos so that you can edit it to be more consistent.
Same tone.
Yeah. Otherwise, like when lights go on and like cars turn and then like white lights, yellow lights, it gets all. Yeah.
Well, that's why you do that and I don't, because it wouldn't even occur to me. But it was really well done. I was like, dude, this thing is cool. And the mural itself was so creative. I loved it. Is it finished?
Yeah, it's completely finished. So the artist's name is Seth. He's from Peru.
Are you saying Seth?
Seth. S-E-F, as in Frank.
Well, you say Seth weird.
Yeah. So his name is Seth. It is warm.
It is warm.
His name is Seth. He's from Peru. And he is a very talented portrait artist, but a lot of times recently he paints children. I guess like show children like, hey, look, you're not just kids, you're just like pre-adults, essentially, like you have a lot of hope, like to see themselves represented and things like that. And recently he's been painting a lot of the kids, like celebrities and people who've done great things as kids. Like he drew, this one was a little different. The first one he did was Michael Jordan, but it wasn't Michael Jordan as a kid. It was a kid that he painted in real life who represented Michael Jordan as a kid. That was like the first one that started. And then this one he decided to do.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
As them actually as children to help represent like, hey, look, they didn't just grow up to be these legends that came out of nowhere. Like we all started off,
And those little kids are still inside them.
Yes.
Right. Oh, that's so meaningful. That's really great. It's so each person, like, did he have like a photo reference of each one or was it just, okay.
He had a photo reference for each of the 4 out of the 5 starting members, but then DJ Yella, he couldn't find a baby photo, a child photo of. So that's why he did it on the side to make it look like it was DJ Yella's notebook and he was the one doing sketches. Yeah. Cause the whole thing was like made to look like it was like a
little kids like
doodle.
Sketchbook. Yeah.
I love like in class, you know what I mean?
That's so creative, man.
Yeah,
that's
it was.
So creative.
It was very beautiful. And it's just like a weird thing because like sometimes I wonder where I would have been because like photography and videography is something that I taught myself for the sake of my business, like 4 or 5 years ago. So like we needed marketing and we were like, we're in art. So there should be like art videos and photography and like murals and stuff. So we were like, man, it's going to be so expensive to hire someone for every single one of those, especially when you have art shows every month. We're like, that's going to be like thousands of dollars just on a monthly basis, and we're like, we're trying to survive, So I was like, we're just going to have to, one of us is just going to have to take the bullet because me and my partner, Ron, were doing everything.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I was like, you're busy watching the store. So I'm going to just go on YouTube.
Teach myself a skill.
Teach myself photography and videography, which luckily YouTube is such like a great place.
We say it all the time, man.
Like
you can teach yourself anything from YouTube.
You can really
it's
teach
amazing.
yourself. Yeah. If you find the right resources, you stay committed, you have the, time to be able to teach yourself and the resources to do it.
Yeah.
It's really a great place. So like I taught myself and then I was like, wow. I was like, I really enjoy this. But I've like always enjoyed photography. But back when we were younger, it was
Take
a very
career and stay the path.
Not only that, but like photography was a hard hobby to get into because it was so expensive.
It was so expensive.
Not only did you have to buy this expensive camera, but then like
developing equipment and all that stuff. Yeah.
And then remember like how expensive it was to develop a roll? Yeah. And then you only got like 24 photos per roll and you're like, oh my gosh.
Right.
So like I've always enjoyed it. Like even in high school, I entered this like photography contest while we were in a trip to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Our history teacher was a photography buff, so she did a photography contest. And I actually, I'm going to put it on the podcast on the video form, but I entered this one photo that I took at one of the places we went to, and it came in second place. And as soon as we got the photos back, my one friend in class, she goes, you only won that. You only got second place because she's like, it's a pussy picture, right? And I was like, what are you talking about? Because it's like a photo of a house on a hill. And that's it with like the sky, some grass. And she goes, bro, it literally says pussy on the photo. And I was like, what are you talking about? So the tree branches, the shadows on the ground, straight up spell pussy.
No way. What?
The craziest thing.
What?
Yeah. The shadows like it's not even one of those things like one of the S's you might have
known for that?
No. No. It's just like crazy timing.
It's not like, oh, take a picture of the pussy house.
Yeah, no. No one ever knew. I don't think anyone else's photos came out that way. I think it was just like weird luck, chance, angle,
like the
timing.
shadow and the sun hit the tree exactly right. What?
Yeah, so like it clearly spells P-U-S. One of the S's is very small. You have to look into it, but then it just spells P-U-S-S-Y and it just spells pussy. And like our history teacher, we're pretty sure, at the time you weren't like, we're out and proud,
Yeah.
So like, we're pretty sure she was also gay. So she was, there's this like running joke. My friend who pointed this out, she is also gay. So she was just like, it says bad pussy. And of course she's going to pick you. And like, and I was like, what? And then I saw it and I was like, oh my God, it really says pussy.
Well, what did the picture that won? What did
I don't even remember anymore. All I know is that picture hangs in my house.
Really? Yeah. I want to see it. I can't wait to see it.
Because it's hilarious.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just so unassuming. And I literally titled it The Pussy Picture because that's literally what it is.
Were you in high school?
Yeah. Well, I didn't name it that when I entered it because I didn't know until I got it back and I won second place. That is just so crazy.
So funny. But I'm so glad you found something like that you love to do and you didn't even have to go to school for it. You just taught yourself. That's so
but
awesome.
I wonder where I would be if I did. You know what I mean? Because like all the stuff that I'm doing now, production and stuff, it's like, and like, this is a point of contention that I had a conversation with my mom with, even the most recent one where we had that bit of an argument. Mm-hmm. I told her, I was like, do you ever feel bad that like you wonder where I could be in my career if like you hadn't cut the TV cord?
Yeah.
And you hadn't pushed me to become a psychologist and you were like, clearly this kid loves entertaining. He likes to be in the business and like pushed me towards it. I was wonder where I could be. You know what I mean? So like, but like staying there too long isn't helpful, right?
Right. And that's not gonna serve you at all. And you still have the opportunities to do the things that you want to pursue. Right. And I think that's something a lot of young people really don't. They get so freaked out.
But it's not their fault.
No, of course not. Society,
because like
you ask a 4-year-old, what do you want to be when you grow up? But I don't even know what a job is.
Exactly.
How the fuck should I know what I want to do? So they're, and then it's always like, you can be a fireman, a policeman, a teacher. You can be, you know what I mean? It's like so limited. It's like nobody would ever think like, I want to be a videographer for street artists.
But even that, it's like even those things are like 0.0001% of all the careers that are possibly open.
Of course. Even now. I mean, like there are jobs that exist now that when I was even in college didn't exist.
Right.
There are jobs that are evolving today as we speak that did not exist. And it's like, I think that's something that if I were 20 years old again, I don't even know that I would know what I would want to do because the world is so big. There's so much you can do.
Honestly,
it must be so overwhelming to be in your 20s right now.
Yeah, I think the system needs to change because like they put you through school, they make you learn all these like random things. They don't tell you about what you could possibly do. And they're like, now go out and figure out what you are. It's like, what are my options?
I don't even know. I don't even know what jobs exist. I went to school for psychology too. I was like, because I've heard of it.
Right.
That's what I picked out of a book. Yeah. I think I might like it. I don't know. And I was like, no. And I fucking left. And I think that's the thing too, is like, I'm in my late 40s and I'm just now starting to do things that I really wanted to do with my life that I didn't have the opportunity to because, I went to school, I worked for my family. I still do work for my family, but I'm like, if I could have, what would I have done? And it's like, wait, but I can. So why don't I? You know what I mean? So there was so much. I was really nervous about it. I still am. I still have a lot of reservations about it just because I am taking a lot of risks and I am, doing a lot of things that I can't really calculate,
yes.
Being that these things are so new to me. But I found so much inspiration, even like from the people on TikTok and like from Instagram and stuff. And it's like, I'm older, but I'm not fucking dead. You know what I mean? And I still have a lot of passion for a lot of things. Like, why do I keep stopping myself? What am I so fucking afraid of? Like, obviously I have a lot of responsibilities and I have, a home and kids and I have, a husband and all these things that I do have to take care of. But at the same time, it's like, I was so afraid for so long. And had I had the support of, my parents in the more artistic things that I wanted to do. I don't know. I don't know what I could have done, but I don't want to spend so much time wondering what I could have done instead of just doing them.
Waste of time.
Yeah.
The only reason you should stay there is to think about like what your passions are, like what did you want to do as a kid that still kind of lingers today, just maybe not as prominently because you spent so many decades pushing it down, pushing it down. Right.
I was actually, it's funny, I was in the car with my husband the other day and we were listening to music and he's like, you have such a good ear for like hit songs. And I was like, I always have. Like it used to be that an artist would put out an album and they would release one song and then put out the album and then you wouldn't know what other song they would like release on the radio or whatever. I always knew which song it was going to be, or I always had this like, I loved like finding new talents, like going to like shows when I was younger and like going to like smoky bars and listening to like artists. I'd be like, oh, I bet if they signed this. But I didn't know that you could be like a talent scout for music. I didn't even know that existed. And I think back now, I was talking to him, I was like, I wonder if I had known that these jobs existed and I had the ability to do it. Like, I feel like I would have pursued something in like music. And like, I really wish I could have done something in the music industry. And again, who knows? I mean, I just started a sauce company and a skincare brand. I might as well just start fucking signing artists. I don't know.
Hey, I have experience in that.
Do you?
Yeah. Did I not tell you about this ever?
No.
Okay. So I went to school for psychology. I graduated from Temple partially because when I got kicked out of University of Delaware,
whoops.
I was looking through my options.
The PP thing, right?
So many things. Peeing on the RA's door, throwing salt in his food, like destroying thousands of dollars worth of school property because I was drunk. Like all those things added up. And then, this is the worst part. And then I was like, they were going to let me go pending a hearing with the Judiciary Committee. And like, I had my godfather at the time who was a pastor come in and he was going to, be a character witness for me and say that during that 1 year that I took off since I got suspended, that I spent that time studying the Bible with him and like, learning to be an adult and grow up. And my mom was in there and I literally told my mom, I was like, whatever you do, do not show that I am guilty in any sense. Just show that I have worked really hard to become a better person and mature. Right. First thing she does. First chance she has a chance to say anything, she goes, oh my God, please forgive my son. Yeah. Please forgive him. He didn't like whatever. And like, I get it where she came from. She's trying to show that like I have remorse and stuff. Yeah. But she also showed that I had guilt and I did something wrong. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where the whole time I was just like, look, I did mess up. I didn't admit to any of the things, but I was like, I did mess up. I was like, I was going through a really dark place mentally, been working on it, been like finding God, working with my pastor, and they kicked me out. Oh. Yeah. So,
but you were talking about your music career.
Oh, right.
I was like, wait, what?
Right, yeah, sorry. Huge tangent.
Oh, Ed sent us on a tangent. How unusual.
Surprise. What a surprise. So then
Ed talked about his childhood delinquencies. Anyway, moving on.
So then I get kicked out of school and then I was like, oh, I'm going to graduate. I need to finish school, So then I picked Temple because it was just close and I didn't want to choose. I didn't want to have to move, do all these things. So I went to Temple and part of the reason why I chose Temple was I was like, you know what? Silver lining at the very least, Bill Cosby does the commencement speeches every year. Oh, okay. So I was like, at the very least, I could be like Bill Cosby. So like, the one
that
reason
didn't age well, but anyway.
The one reason I chose Temple did not age well. Yeah, not even that long after either. Like, oh my God, a couple of years after it all happened. But either way, I graduated from Temple with a degree in advertising, and I met a friend. So one of my best friends. Her dad owns like one of the biggest bars in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. So through going to that bar all the time, I met this guy who quickly became a very close friend of mine who owned this company called Mantria Corporation, which was a investment company. Mm-hmm. And he had this idea that one of the investments that they were going to invest in this leg of their business was to start a record label. Mm. Well, while becoming friends, he comes to find out that not only am I just like finishing school for like business and advertising essentially and marketing, but I also have this crazy extensive background in music. So he was like, you know what? Fuck it. Why don't you just like, come on, run the fucking record label. And I was like, oh my God.
Fun,
I was like,
though. I have no idea what I'm doing, but yes.
I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I was like, but when they talk about making networks in college, I was like, this is what they're talking about. Right. So I thought I hit the jackpot, right? So he had signed this artist group. It was this duo rappers. They were called Ice Block.
Mm-hmm.
And they were actually pretty good. They were based out of like the Virginia, DC area, the DMV, which they refer to it as. And so it was good. You know, they were very talented. We were getting producers. So like a couple months goes by, you know, we do things like going on the BET summer tour and stuff like that, getting them on there. We networked with G Unit and we were like working with them and like collaborating with them. So then a couple months goes by. It's been about a year at this point. I get this sample beat from a remix from the Eurythmics Sweet Dreams.
Cool.
You know, which like if anyone in the music business
so
knows,
distinct.
Eurythmics are very stingy with giving out licenses to that song. They've only done it like twice.
Yeah.
And one of which was to Marilyn Manson, which is questionable, but they only given it out like twice and they approved it for this one. So they approved the beat that I got. And then I had the great idea of reaching out to Lady Gaga, who was a nobody at the time. Mm-hmm. And she had just agreed to do the chorus. So it was going to be literally called Sweet Dreams with the Sweet Dreams.
Cool.
It was really good. Like we got like the recording. It was all great. And then like, just as we're about to like finalize it, like get done the mixing and all stuff so we can like release it, the SEC comes in and shuts us down for being a Ponzi scheme.
Wait, what?
And like,
but weren't you guys a legitimate like business?
We were. So we were.
How is it a Ponzi scheme?
So
then?
like, remember the whole company was an investment company, and literally 2 to 3 weeks before the SEC came in, our CEO was literally on stage with Bill Clinton at the yearly Clinton Global Initiative.
Yeah,
and he was being awarded by Bill Clinton for making advancements in green technology. So the biggest thing that they had was that they said that they came across this company that developed this technology that was able to take bio-waste. So take things like corn on the cob, banana peels, put it through this machine that instantly turns it into charcoal, biochar.
Okay.
So essentially, it was this like revolutionary way to make sustainable energy where you basically take trash. It's like Back to the Future 2.
Is this
you take
real?
trash.
But is it real?
So that's the part that I still don't know. So this happened like 14 years ago. And I feel like if it was really
it would have happened by now.
Something would have happened by now.
Yeah, like when Doc puts the trash into the DeLorean.
Which is the crazy thing though, is that like so many people went to the refactory, whatever the heck it was called, and they saw them put biotrash in and then watch these pieces of charcoal come out that look like the corn on the cob that they put in. So like, I don't know which parts were real. I almost think that it might have been real. And then like this thing just fucked up everything for that business. I don't know. Either way, we got shut down for being the world's largest green Ponzi scheme in the history of the world.
Why are you not in jail?
Because I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
But you were affiliated.
I was affiliated.
Wouldn't you have gone to jail though?
Yeah, so like I spoke to a lawyer friend recently about this, and he was like, I am actually really surprised you didn't get indicted because I was the director of operations for the record label. But then like 2 months before the SEC broke in, my boss had me become director of operations for the whole organization. So I was like, most of my job on that end was like getting all the spreadsheets of people sending me. And I was just like cross-referencing and making sure that all the numbers checked out. But like, I didn't really understand what numbers I was looking at.
I was going to say, didn't it make you feel like the red flag? Like, why am I doing this job? I don't know anything about what I'm doing.
But I was also like, you know what? This is a startup. This is just how they work. Okay. And like, you know, everyone's hands on deck, wear multiple hats and like get promoted into jobs that you have no idea how to do. You just have to figure it out.
Do this job and just keep signing paperwork.
This is just how it goes. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times I was just like, I literally was like, this looks good. And then just send it up and be like, oh God, if someone comes back with an error, I'm going to be like, I don't
know how to fix that. I'm so sorry.
But basically they came in, the SEC came in, they only cared about our CEO, the COO, the head of our legal department, and CFO.
Did they go to jail?
Those 4 people. So That happened in
I
2009.
was like, are you allowed to talk about this?
Yeah, so this happened in 2009. I wasn't served any papers. I actually left the office I was like, well, you know what? I was like, if I'm not going to get paid my last paycheck, I was like, this laptop, these 3 monitors, I was like, and this desk, they're mine. And I put them all in my car. A lot of us did. And we just left because we knew we weren't getting paid our last paycheck.
Yeah.
SEC didn't come after us for
But weren't
any
they like,
of that.
you're taking like evidence and shit?
No, because they like came and shut us down, but they didn't like, it wasn't like in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
where
see, I mean,
like,
that's
these
what I'm
people
imagining.
there this
Like,
whole time.
yeah.
No, they just shut you down. They serve you papers. They take papers, all the legal stuff, but they leave the majority of stuff. They're just
The
like,
shit that they don't
whatever,
need. Yeah.
you know? And they just leave. And then it wasn't until like literally a year and a half, 2 years ago that the CEO and the COO got convicted.
Oh, shit.
It took like 14 years.
Say,
and during those 14 years, the COO, who's like, I found out during the course and after that he was just like this huge scam artist.
Oh, no.
But like during those 14 years, he scammed other people, some of whom were close friends of mine who literally right before they gave him money, I was like, do not give Troy any money. I was like, we literally know
His name
that
was Troy.
Yeah.
Well,
we literally know that he's
kidding.
like a scam artist. I was like, he literally just ripped off like millions. Like, I think the paper said it was like $30 million, but I remember reading spreadsheets where we had like upwards of $100 million in assets.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So it's like, I was like, you know what I mean? I was like,
That's
don't give this
too
idiot any
much.
money. And my friends like literally were like, you know how sometimes you tell people not to do things and they
Yeah.
just kind of get a little salty at you and they're like, fuck you, whatever.
You don't want me to be successful?
That's what happened to me. And then they like ended up losing like tens of thousands of their own personal savings.
Oh, no.
And
I tried to warn you,
I didn't even
man.
say that. I was just like, in my head, I was like, I fucking told you so. Like, I fucking told you
Shit.
so.
Well, so I guess you made a nice career pivot after that?
Yeah. So, but like, it was crazy though. Like being an A&R was fun. It was also really stressful.
I bet.
I come to find out that payolas are a real thing because I was the one who had to carry $10,000 to radio stations and be like, hey,
What is a payola?
Oh, so in the music industry and entertainment industry in general, I'm probably going to get killed for even saying this,
Oh,
but
no.
not
Don't-
really.
Okay, I was like,
It's
murder?
pretty well known, but I don't feel like anyone really goes. So like payolas are when you pay for things to be
Played on the radio.
played on the radio, for people to get interviews, like whatever the heck it
You're
is.
just greasing some wheels with some
Yeah.
cash.
So like I would go to the radio station with our artists and then they would like do an interview. And then after the interview, I'd like give the DJ $10,000. And
$10,000?
yeah, that's how much payolas typically were. And then you would like, and then they would like commit to unofficially playing their songs during the busiest parts of the day, which outside of anyone who knows what payolas are, you just go, wow, they're putting this random song that I've never heard of artists that I've never heard of in the
Right.
mix. I must just be not in the know.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like,
Do DJs have exclusive power on what they play on the radio? Or I would imagine there's like producers and stuff that do that. Like that's what I always thought. Like they just kind of were like, these are the songs you're going to play, introduce these songs by these artists.
I'm sure there are some where they're like, hey, I need you to play this new artist. Like, this is really hot. Play these. But there's also like so many hours in the day where they're playing spinning music that like they also get to put in whatever they want.
Interesting. I did not know that.
So like, one of the most famous payola artists that I feel like some of the public knows about is like Britney Spears.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. People are always like, oh, she got paid. But it's like, right, you have to get paid to get in front.
Yeah.
But like, if you suck,
right,
people are still going to be like, I don't know why they're playing this. And they're not going to get to play. You know what I mean? So like, it's just to get your foot in the door. But it's a real thing. It is a real thing in the industry.
Oh, never mind. I don't want to do that job. It sounds so complicated. It sounds
It was
too much. I don't want to do that anymore.
But the part of like, but the only part I really remember and like cherish was like being able to put together songs and projects. Cause like if the SEC had just backed off for 1 month, 1 month. 1 month.
You would have
Because
had
like
one of the biggest hits of all time.
one of the biggest hits of all time. And I would probably still to this day be an A&R person.
Yeah.
Because
probably.
like without any hits, I couldn't go to a Sony and be like, hey,
yeah.
so like I almost
And this
had
is before
this
Lady Gaga did like Just Dance.
It was like right when she had Just Dance, but it was It was like months before her song with Wale came out. Remember that song? The problem. Like, yeah, it was like months before that. So like we would have been that first collaboration she did that brought her into hip hop.
Got it.
And vice versa. It was going to be huge.
I remember the first time I heard her, I was like, she's going to be a star. And I know everybody did that, but I was like, this chick's going to really fucking go somewhere.
Yeah.
And now look, I told you I should have been, and I'm just kidding.
Because I thought it, because I was like, not only is she going somewhere, I was like, but this is someone who's so brand new. She has yet to tap into like the urban hip hop market. So many
genres that she can go into.
Right. And I was like, we can do this thing where we bridge, it'd be symbiotic relationship. Right. We're good for, mass, and she's able to get more into like urban market. Wants, like everything. Yeah. Those are the things I hold on to, but I can't go to a job interview and be like, hi. Almost. What? Like,
I was very close to being the person that discovered Lady Gaga, just so you know.
Helped her get big, and then like almost had this other group,
But all I got out of it was a computer.
But not just a computer, because now years later, I'm actually trying to write a book about what happened.
Well, as you're telling the story, I'm like, this feels like a movie script.
Every time I tell people that, that's what they say. So that's what I literally started being like, you know what? I think I should write a book that then hopefully gets sold in the movie.
Okay, so
I could finally catch
you want to play you?
Oh, I don't know. You don't know? I don't even know. I don't know, because there's people that I wish would play me, and I would hope to keep it relevant in that sense, but I also have this really weird feeling that depending on like how the contracts are signed, they're going to whitewash my character.
But it would have to be a character that is like you, and you speak English perfectly, and you live in America, so those characteristics would be. I don't know how they're going to be able to whitewash unless they just completely replace it with another story, but like my childhood growing up playing the cello is going to be a part of the book, because it's a big part of the reason why I got the job. So you're talking about like whole like biography. You're not talking about just that one part
of
it.
No, it is. It is just going to be about that one part, but there's going to be some stuff that leads up to it for character development and stuff, right? Because what I'm doing is I'm going to write it as a fictional book.
Good idea.
So that I don't have to
get sued.
I don't have to get sued. I don't have to get like 20,000 people to sign off on it and read it and do all this stuff. But it's mostly going to be about this Ponzi scheme and this experience that I had in the music industry and how it all just culminated together, because like everyone is like, this is crazy. And like everyone thinks about how evil it is because like the nature of how he stole the money. He literally sold people into thinking that they're helping save the world.
Ugh.
And really this motherfucker was just stealing money. So like people think it's crazy without knowing any of that. And I'm pretty sure even when it went to trial, no one knew what happened to the money. Wow. Well, this motherfucker called me his best friend for like 3 years. I know where all the money went. I was like there for the spending of a lot of it.
Oh, do you know what I mean? It all?
I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I don't know what you mean by you guys. Yeah. I was just there benefiting from him spending it. So like we would like go to the strip club like every week. And like one time, one of my friends was there and he was like talking with this one dancer. And I kept telling him, I was like, hey man, she's charging. He's like, no, very naive, very nice guy. But he was like, no, we're just talking. I was like, she's charging you. And I was like, it has been over an hour. And at the end of the night, sure enough, he comes up to me, he goes, so she's charging me $700. And I was like, what the fuck, man? And then like, CEO just paid for all of it. You know what I mean?
Man.
Yeah. And like we would take,
gone into strip.
we like took our clients there. And like he one time took like a bunch of our friends, flew us in a private jet to like Vegas. And like
this is total fucking scumbag.
Rented out like the Wynn Hotel, like in the first month after it had been built. We like partied next to Rihanna.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah. There was like a rehab. There was like a pool at the Hard Rock Cafe. It was like on Sunday, it was called Rehab. Mm-hmm. It was this like pool party. So it's just one massive pool where everyone just sits in together and they all like pee, drink, whatever. And there's
Petri dish.
Literally pee, drink, Petri. But there's literally one private pool in all of Rehab. We rented that. T-Pain came and like performed and partied. Like it was crazy. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure half the money went up their noses.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like I was there. They would like be working. It's
kind of like Wolf of Wall Street meets like The Hangover. And like it sounds There's definitely a movie here.
Yeah.
Definitely,
and like, that's what I mean. Like,
least.
and he was like a pathological liar. And I think I know enough about his childhood and some of his traumas to really be able to give that insight. But like, I should have known this motherfucker was like such a pathological liar. Like, one time he tried to tell us that he was engaged to Lauren Conrad, like from the OC.
Like was at the time, or it was like I was once.
Right when I started working for him, became friends with him, he claimed that like just a year prior, like right before I met him, he was engaged to LC. And I was like,
isn't that such a convenient story?
I just remember
right before I met you, we just broke up.
And I just remember even thinking at the time, like social media was like still somewhat new. And I was even like, but paparazzi would have, I was like, you would be somewhere in the news.
Popular forever.
Somewhere. You know what I mean? He claimed that he like dated and hooked up with like Kim Kardashian. And I was like, all of these things I should have known better, but like you just chalk it up, and like even the partying and stuff, but you just chalk it up to you're like, this is just what a successful CEO of a company that generated like 30 to $100 million. This is what they do for fun. This is how much money they make. They're able to have fuck you money already. You know what I mean? You just like think that it pings as a red flag. Yeah. But then you talk yourself out of it because you're like, what do I know? What do I know?
That's what all people who see red flags do, right?
Yeah.
Is they convince themselves that it's a green flag.
Right. I mean, I'm like, colorblind. Yeah. When you're like sleeping in a free suite in like Vegas, you're like, this is normal.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've known people like that in my life, and I've always had a very bad feeling about being around those people. And I've been to the strip clubs and I've been to the Vegas parties, and I'm like, I don't know. Something about this just feels like this money's dirty.
That's what I mean. Really, that's why I like worked for it and stuff, but like I never was like, hey, you know what, family, we should invest in this. Right. No point, because I was like, something isn't sitting right. Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna ride this roller coaster ride. Right. I'm gonna get the experience. I'm not going to get too locked in. The money that I make. Yeah. No. Right.
Wow.
It was weird. But I used to be an A&R person. But all of that to say, my life took a crazy trajectory that nobody would have ever predicted. Like, of course, no one could have ever predicted. And like, even knowing the stuff that I know about jobs now only became because after that, I became a recruiter.
Right.
And that's when I started to be like, oh my God, there's so many jobs. Like, for instance, I found out about this job called being a process engineer. You literally engineer processes. And it sounds really boring.
I don't even understand what that means.
I know. I'm getting there.
You just repeated that word.
Yeah, don't you hear people do that? They're like, what is
process engineer?
A flubgaster. And you're like, someone who gas flub.
What? Yeah. Why? You just fucking repeated what you just said.
I know. I was going to get there.
Told me nothing.
But basically what it means is that like this person comes in, they come into a company, typically like manufacturing or whatever, they go over the processes and they tell you about redundancies.
Okay.
And about like where you could be saving money and being more
like
efficient.
It is a job.
But like it is a hard job, and you have to go to engineering school and you have to have an engineering degree, you have a Bachelor of Science for it. But like judging things in people and telling them like what's wrong with them and like what they could do to be better. Like that's like my whole thing. Like I would have been such a great process. And even like when I watch stuff, I'm like, oh my God, this is stupid. You need to get rid of this person. You need to do this. If you did this, you would save money. Like I didn't even have to go to school.
I was talking about people who like cuddle for a living.
Yeah, that stuff too. But I just mean that there's like so many jobs.
Yeah, there's so many jobs.
There's so many jobs.
I mean, even now, like influencing is a job.
Yeah, that didn't exist.
Podcasting is a job.
None of this stuff existed 10 years ago.
Of course not. It was for me. It definitely did it.
Yeah, and these two things are now two of the most coveted jobs
I know
in the world, which like leads you to a place you're like, look, if you are in a place where you're like, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know if this is going to cause you more anxiety or bring you comfort. Like you don't know what's going to happen in 10 years anyway.
Right. The whole world can change.
Right.
And will.
The most coveted jobs in 10 years may not even exist now.
Right. And there are jobs, of course, that used to exist that don't exist anymore, that are completely obsolete.
Which goes to say, though, the thing that I have noticed is that the people who oftentimes are able to change with the ebb and flows of that kind of evolution tend to be people who are doing something that they love.
Of course.
Because when you do something that you love, you tend to be a little bit more focused on innovation, making things better, being the best. All those things typically tend to put you in a place where like when changes happen, you're at a better position.
Right. Right. Honestly, that's how I feel about content creation. I know it sounds, I didn't know it really was anything that I could ever even do up until just like 3 years ago. I love doing it. I really it's really stressful, but I'm always thinking ways that I can like make my videos better. How can I introduce it? What more of a hook can I do on this? Like, can I integrate different types of music? What can I do to make it, more exciting and fun and informational and whatever? And I'm like, do I really like this?
Yeah.
I think I do.
Until those things become very heavy and you're like, oh, I need a break.
Which is fine too.
Yeah.
But that comes with the territory.
Yes.
That comes with the territory. But like, I could never have prepared to do this job in my education up until that point. I was in the college in the early 90s. You know what I mean? Like the internet had just happened. Literally, I remember my sister, she called me, was like, go to the library. There's a thing called the internet. I was like, the internet, schminternet. This is stupid. You're so dumb.
Have you ever heard of a card catalog?
Dewey Decimal System, bitch. That's what's real. That's what was real stuff, you lunatic.
And it translates to every library. Like, this is universal.
Yeah. But I never in college could be like, I want to major in making 3-minute videos about every single thing in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I never could have. But like, I guess maybe just living my life has gotten me to be able to do this, that I really, really love doing it. But I will say, I don't know if I have the courage to take the leap into just like full content creation as like my job. Like, that sounds so scary to me. And I know there's so many people that do it and make an incredible living doing it.
Soon.
That's so scary. Yeah. That's so scary for me. Like, I've had this same career that I've been in for 27 years. And to just be like, all right, I'm going to let it go. My steady paycheck. It's like, I can't do it. I mean, of course, I have responsibilities beyond just myself, which prevent me from just taking that leap. But even if I didn't, I wonder, like, do I have the guts? That's the thing. And I grapple with that every day. Every day I'm like...
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but you also just started like 2 other companies. So it's like, you do have the guts, but it's also being smart.
Yeah.
You can't, like, I don't know that I would be doing it full time if I didn't have to close down my business.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like kind of a happen chance,
kind of have
circumstantial.
To do it. Yeah. And the 2 companies that I started, I will say, like, there's no way I could have done it on my own anyway. My older sister and my younger sister are 2 very, very important branches of both of the 2 new companies. In case you don't know, I already have a skincare company with my sister. It's called 410 Beauty. And we just pre-launched the, Sujia's gochujang, sauce company, Sujia Foods.
Another jingle.
Yeah. But because of my sisters is the only reason I was able to do it. Yeah. There's so many legalities and licenses and LLCing. I don't even know what that word is. I don't even know what that means. A little bit of liability, it's something. And then my younger sister, has her MBA and she's like, we need to do this. And she sets up all the emails and does all how we process payments and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I think
they also can't make 3-minute videos that get millions of views.
They'd rather be fucking dead.
Yeah.
My sisters are like, we will do anything. We'll do anything but have to make content. Please don't make us do that. I was like, I wouldn't fucking trust you with it anyway. So like, that's no problem. It's so funny. Like, we're so different in like every possible way, but in like the ways that just kind of like fit each other's stuff. So it's working out, I guess. We soft launched the sauce and we've already gotten a really good response from it. And, it's been great. But I think that just, again, my older sister's a lawyer. My younger sister, has her MBA and she's like a business person, and we're like doing things that we never would have done in ways that we didn't know we could do.
Yeah.
We didn't know that this was going to be something that we could do. And so now we're just kind of, taking the leap in our late 40s and 50s, like, fuck it.
Well, you also have to remember that, like, well, first off, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Very well deserved. It's been a long time coming.
I know, really.
Not that we've known each other that long, but it's been this whole year. It has been this whole year. Yeah. And, but like, if you really think about it, like, the generations that came before us, and I don't know, I really don't understand these people, but also have so much respect and awe for them, because it was the era of like, you don't do what you love. You just work a job, you feed your family. And then like these people that used to like whatever job it was, whether it was like, could you imagine going to a mine for 30 years? Like, who enjoys working in a mine? No one.
No one.
You know what I mean? Like I I don't have that in me.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like I will leave a job.
Privileged.
Yeah, because I'm like, I fucking hate this. This isn't who I am. Like we have that privilege. And like, and I understand when jobs become something from like whatever you do to make money, get a pension, get 401k, whatever, feed your family, and then be able to retire one day.
Right.
We no longer live in them. We're now like living in this like, hey, be who you want to be, find yourself.
But let me ask you this. Doesn't that concern you? Like that one day there will be no air conditioning repair people, that there will be no people who want to do the jobs that nobody, you know what I mean? Like, because everybody's going to be pursuing jobs in influencing and you know what I mean? Like I think about that.
I don't know that that's necessarily true either, because like while all these college jobs were going, like when I was recruiting, there was a huge deficit in a lot of skilled labor jobs. Mm-hmm. So like a lot of like electronic, you know, like assembly or even just like, no, like even like assembling electronics, you know, or like welders and like
skilled labor.
Yeah. Like skilled laborers, like people who like run machines and stuff like, you know, like, yes, the machines are automated, but someone still has to program that machine. Yeah. Like those jobs, like there was a lot of deficit in, and like now they're paying really well. Yeah. Because like no one is doing it.
That's good. Well, at least that's how it should be.
I think a lot of jobs will be phased out. You know what I mean? Like even up until 6 months before today, AI was just like this thing in movies. You're like robots. And now it's like literally everywhere. I literally updated some of my editing programs yesterday, and all of them were updated with AI functions. You know, so like we don't know where things are going. So I guess what we're trying to say is that like, don't freak out too much.
No.
Try to find something that you like, enjoy, or maybe you're just good at and you enjoy it because you're good at it.
But you enjoy it because you can make a lot of money out of it.
Yes.
That's a lot of things too. Like a lot of things, people are motivated by so many different things. Hopefully, if you're lucky, the things that you enjoy, that you're passionate about, that you're good at, you can make a living doing. Yeah, but that is also daunting. That's really daunting. And I know a lot of people who are in their like early 20s or like just starting out, or maybe didn't go to college or just getting out of college. They're like, I don't know what I want to do. And like, I feel like so many people feel this tremendous pressure to know what they're going to do exactly when they're supposed to do it. And it's like, there's no way to know. And even if you don't know, it's okay. It might come to you and it might not. And you can't always predict those things for yourself. And that can be very scary. So like, I really acknowledge that. I mean,
life is a journey.
It is.
And if you feel like you have to reach a destination by the age of 20, like
God, no.
That sounds horrible.
I'm not saying that not every 20-year-old is this way. I was a fucking idiot when I was 20. Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to party and I just wanted to have fun. I didn't want to think about what I was going to do for my living or whatever. I didn't. And it wasn't until I was about like maybe 27 that I started really like thinking about my career. And so then I went to design school and all that stuff, and that worked out great, you know, for what I do now, you know, but I don't know that I did it because I was necessarily like super passionate about it. It was just, I went because I was good at it. And I knew that my family could use this skill to go into the next phase of our family business, which it did. And it worked out great for the last, 2-3 decades. But, sometimes you just do stuff to just get by in the moment. And
the only thing I can say is that like, even no matter what you end up doing or whatever you end up in, just try to make the most of it, learn from it, and use it as a point to like expand your skill sets, your experiences. Because like, if anyone is an example of it, I feel like all the misturns, mistakes, the happen chances, the how did I end up here's kind of all led me to here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it was like if I didn't get kicked out of college and then like find a school that had an advertising major, then I wouldn't be able to have a lot of this like marketing experience and background information and knowledge that I know. If I didn't go to that A&R job, I wouldn't know how to look at business numbers or like, you know what I mean? How to implement some of those numbers. And then like going into recruiting, like it all, and then like starting my own business, the wrong business that ended up leading me towards photography and film. It all led me to what I'm doing now.
Of course. And I think anybody could trace back every single thing. And it's not just even like career, like life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, we had a very tragic thing happen in our family. which required me to move out of my parents' house, which then required me to find a place to live in Santa Monica. I found a place to live in Santa Monica. I got married to my first husband. We got divorced. Had we not gotten divorced, I wouldn't have become the party animal that I was. I started going to this bar that I loved, and I went there 7 nights a week and was a fucking drunk for a long time. But had I not gotten divorced,
I don't mean to laugh.
I wouldn't have been that drunk.
Yeah.
Had I not been going to that bar every single night, I wouldn't have met my friend Kelly. My friend Kelly was then offered a job down the street at a different bar. That different bar happened to be owned by my current husband now. It had all those tragic things, weird little things and twists and turns had not happened.
Why did I always think you guys met on a dating app?
Oh, I don't know, because we met in our mid-30s. That's what people in their mid-30s often do. But no, it was more traditional. I was a drunk, and so was he.
And he was the barkeep.
And he owned the bar. And I was like, I'm going to marry the guy that owns the bar. But had that family tragedy had not happened, had I not gotten divorced, had I not gone through that tragic moment in my life and then went through this really dark path, in my life, it wouldn't have led me to all the things where I am now. Even, all of those things that at the time seemed so heavy and hard and challenging, you have to look back at it and be like, it brought me here. It made me stronger. It made me better. It made me smarter. And it brought me here. And here's where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And no, not everything was exactly the way none of it was the way I planned.
None of it. Yeah.
Not one single fucking minute.
Not one thing.
I never thought that I was going to be drunk for a year and a half straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And often, wake up on the floor in my bathroom, because I had gone through a really painful divorce. I didn't think that, and even at the time I was like, I'm fine. But when I look back now, I was like, I was so not fine. I was so sad. I was so depressed. It was such a sad, time for me. But, not to be like, but I got through it. No, I got through it in a really, destructive way, but I got through it. And had it not happened, I wouldn't be married to the man I'm married to now with the children that I have now in the home that I live in. You know what I mean? None of those things would have happened. Who knows? It's like that movie, right? Sliding Doors.
Yes.
Right? I feel like we've talked about it before. But, had I not dated a man that lived in my apartment complex that everybody hated and was like, that's like the worst guy in the world that you could possibly be today. I was like, yeah, I'm super destructive. He's the one who took me to the bar the first time. That bar that, yeah. Wow. I forgot about that. He was so gross. He was such a scumbag. I was like, you're perfect for right now. You're perfect. 'Cause I'll never end up with you. He was just like so sleazy. I was like, perfect. You were exactly the opposite of any kind of person I ever want to hang out with. But let's hang out for like a few months,
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. It was, like I said, it was in a very self-destructive phase. But he was like, let's go to this bar. I was like, I don't want to go to that bar. And he's like, just come with me. So we went. And then it all, it's history from there. But, sometimes the road that you take isn't the one that's always the most illuminated. It's sometimes the dark, dingy one.
Yeah,
and it works.
It's true. And I'm not sure that I'm a huge proponent of like things happen for a reason. I don't really love that. I don't not believe in it.
Yeah.
But it just like seems too perchancey. You know what I mean? And I think it's more about like taking your experiences and letting them be for something.
Yeah.
And maybe. I think that's more of what it is.
Or give it the honor it for what it was and honor it for where it took you, even though maybe you did plan it or maybe you didn't.
Right.
Right.
Like I think about that a lot. I know I went through a lot of childhood trauma, but like it ended up making me the person who I am today.
Right.
And I don't hate who I am today.
I think you're
Could things be a little bit better?
Sure.
Yeah, obviously, could I be swimming in a Scrooge Duck mansion filled with money? Like that would be great. And that's not happening yet.
More painful than people think.
No, it would.
Swimming in a pool of coins? That sounds terrible.
Or like it's bills and then you come up with like chlamydia on your face, but like.
Even just the smell. Yeah. Sometimes kids get in like the kids from soccer practice. I'm like, you guys smell like pennies. It's so gross.
Oh, But, things happen for a reason. Like Ron and I met at our recruiting job that we both hated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you guys met on a dating app. No, I'm just kidding.
There is Bumble for Friends, but there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
But then it was like talking about how miserable our jobs were, where I was like, hey, did you ever think about moving to LA? I was like, because I need to move back to LA because I hate it here and I'm too scared to do it alone.
You just scooped him up and brought him?
Pretty much.
I did not know that.
With the idea of starting this business. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much what it was. And if it wasn't for that, I may still be miserable in Philadelphia.
Wow. That is cute.
Yeah. So like things happen for, okay.
You almost said it.
So things don't happen for a reason, but sometimes they do.
Yeah.
And then sometimes things happen and then better things happen because you made the best of it. You accepted it.
Right.
And you were you need to mentally be in a place where you're able to accept the changes that happen.
Of course.
From the shitty things. Because if you're just stuck in this sucks, you will miss those opportunities, you know?
Or you won't see them for what they are.
Yes.
I think that's a lot of what it is a lot of people are like, well, I'm not getting any opportunities, or like, I'm not, seeing this isn't working out the way that I wanted. It's like, no. And granted, that could definitely be the case. But there have been times where things have happened. I'm like, God, it didn't work out the way that I wanted. But it actually worked out better than I'd planned. And had it not worked out this way, I don't know that it would have turned out as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I've been so fortunate in being able to acknowledge and recognize and, like I said, honor the fact that even though it didn't go my way in the way that I wanted it to, I ended up, I don't want to say better for it. I maybe learned something from it, or I maybe was able to step into a different direction because of it, or however it worked. But I think a lot of people put so much pressure on themselves to execute, especially now. I feel like so many people feel so much pressure to execute everything perfectly now. And it's like, babe, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
even if you wanted to, it's not going to happen.
Part of that is because of social media. Like social media has been great because it exposes you to so many other options that you could be doing. You're like, whoa, I didn't know that people could do that, or that's a job, or that's a place, or any of those things. But at the same time, you're also seeing these people who are where you want to be, and they're there already, and maybe sometimes they're younger than you or whatever. And you're just, and that stuff sometimes can be a little debilitating.
Sure. Well, I think a lot of people have to really understand, and this is a thing that like people who are in marketing do. Like, there's a difference between aspirational marketing and inspirational marketing, right? Do I want to be that, or do I want to take something from that and create something else out of it? Like, and I think that is where a lot of people don't know that there's a diversion between those two things. There are, of course, I want to be like, what's her name? Charli D'Amelio. Or I want to take inspiration from something Charli D'Amelio does and create something of my own from it. And I think a lot of people don't know that those are separate things. You know, you don't have to be an influencer just like this to be successful doing, something else kind of like it, or
in fact,
derived from it.
People became successful because they owned it. They did what was authentic to them. It doesn't mean that it had to be a unique idea. Right. We live in an age where like, is anything really unique anymore? It's just a matter of like, whatever you identify with, whatever makes you happy. And that's what I mean. Like, when you find something that you do that you love or good at and love, whatever the reason is, you're more positioned in a place to elevate it,
tweak it, do all kinds of different things with it.
So that when like things change, or like, and it puts you in a place to like come up with good ideas, to be creative, like that's the stuff that really matters. Is find the joy, find the thing to learn, find the thing to master in whatever you're doing, and just realize that like nothing is permanent. You can I know it feels like it's the end of the world, but most of the times, unless you're like pressing a red button that says don't press, the world will blow up. It won't be the end of the world. Right. You know what I mean? Like, just roll with it. Just learn from it. Just do it. Fuck it. Because you can be almost 40.
Or almost 50.
Yeah. And still be like, I don't really know what I want. You know what? One of my favorite shows when I was younger was the show called The Pretender.
I don't know that I'm familiar.
Oh my God. So there was a show, it was like, I think it was like on NBC. It was like roughly around like when I was like 14, 15. It was a show, it was on like Saturday nights or whatever. And it was this guy who was so smart that he got abducted as a child. And then they like put him through all these things, and he basically escapes. And like when they captured him, they like put him in situations where he was so smart that he was able to figure stuff out. But then he escapes from that program as an adult, and then he lives by taking on different jobs everywhere he goes because he's just trying to blend in. So like he'll go somewhere, figure out a way to be a doctor, and like just work as a doctor for a little bit until like, he has to move again, and then he'll like move somewhere else and like figure out how to be like a construction worker and like do that.
Kind of like Quantum Leap, but different.
Yes. So like that show I always loved because I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I was like, in fact, how can I be this guy? Yeah, how do I do everything? Yeah.
I think that always comes back to just like the Korean way of eating.
Yeah.
I don't want just one thing. I want all the little things.
I want a whole table full of food to pick from.
I'm doing punch-on of careers right now.
Pretty much.
Career punch-on.
I want something savory and sweet, but the next bite, I want something spicy.
I want something that's kind of sour too. You know what I mean? Like that's
and then I would just want meat.
You know what? I've been trying to figure out like how I want to describe, and Joanne said she called it my like career hoe phase, but I think it's more of my career punch-on phase, where it's like I want to do lots of little things. I think that's actually works for me.
Same, but different. You know.
Awesome. All right. Well, good one. I think I feel inspired.
Yeah.
I want to go do more stuff.
We are going to do more stuff. Susie and I are going to write a book.
Oh, you just put it out into the world.
Yeah. So we're holding ourselves accountable.
Oh boy. It's going to be great.
It is going to be great.
Don't tell anybody what it's going to be about.
Oh, no. I haven't even said the genre of book. I just said book.
Horror. Slasher. I wouldn't be able to right now. I'm like, I'm too scared. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no. Something simpler.
Yes.
We're giving away too much.
Yes. Shh. Anyway. Thank you all for joining us so much on this episode today. I thought it was, I feel inspired by it. Yeah. I always feel like, okay, I'm going to take something from this. And today I'm going to take away the idea. I mean,
that was the message of this whole episode,
we can
technically.
Do shit.
So I hope so.
Do stuff, man. Go do things.
Yeah, but hopefully we're still going to do pregnancy cravings. I'm sorry. This is like the fourth week you guys are hearing about it.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah. But also, yeah.
Cool.
I do want to eat stuff.
Yeah. Oh, we will actually next week after.
Oh, right. Yeah,
stay tuned. We were working out the details. All right. We've been clearly, we have both been very, very busy. We're both doing so many fucking things right now. But anyway, thank you again for joining us. And
thank you for thanks.
Why did you see my dad? That's why he just came over and waved. He just distracted me. Yeah. Bye, Dad.
Bye.
He walked over and was like, waving. I was like, bye. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you being here with us week after week. We really do.
Yep. And please, if you are watching us on YouTube, oh my gosh.
What's that website called?
Brain dead. If you are watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.
Ding.
My action and what you just said isn't matching.
Oh, and if you want to write a jingle, do it. Submit it.
Oh, yes.
That'd be so cool.
Yes, we will credit you.
Yeah.
But make sure you follow us on our socials as well.
You can find me at Studio1 on TikTok and Instagram. And
you can find me at Etch-a-Sketch with a J. Or you can find the podcast at What in the Shibal. If you do want to write into us, write in at whatintheshibal@gmail.com. Please know that we do not respond to the many emails that we do get, but please do write in. We do love reading them.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much.
But other than that, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.